Welcome everyone. This is our third session, Wednesday, March 31st. And I just wanted to know that we did do three sessions around nutrition and specific chronic diseases. First week was with heart disease, second week, diabetes, and now our third session would be focusing on cancer and nutrition. We do have a few more people that have registered for the session. And so I'm going to do a quick review of our welcoming slides. My name is Dale Cain. I'm the Executive Director of Advocates for Community Wellness. And you may have received or will receive some communications in the future from Lynette Mahone. She's our Social Engagement Director. She will not be with us today. Advocates is a nonprofit, 501c3. We were founded in 2003, but we became a tax-exempt organization in 2011. Advocates is a faith-based health promotion, disease prevention, health restoration, community-based organization without walls. We offer customized health and wellness programs directly where you work, live, play, learn, and worship. We promote public education and awareness on the relationship between diet, health, chronic disease through our health education and nutrition workshops. The goals and mission of Advocates is to promote health and wellness and fitness through health and lifestyle nutrition education programs. And we offer all of those at Advocate. If you visit our website and look under services, you can see the various programs that we offer. In this particular program, Eat Well Cooking Club for Better Health, the program goals are to increase consumptions of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, to encourage a more nutrient-rich diet plan, that's the eating plan, for better health, and to reduce risk factors of chronic diseases and illnesses through nutrition. The third is to attain a healthier weight through the consumptions of plant-based nutrition. Okay, today's program is being sponsored. Today's cooking program, the cooking demonstration, is being sponsored by Pete's Fresh Market, and we want to thank them for their support. Today's presenters would be Karen Bryce. She's a bilingual nutritionist consultant, and Chef Karen Crawford Moore. Okay, Karen?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Karen Carruthers Bryce, and I am the founder of Keystone Education Center. I am a bilingual nutritionist, and I've been practicing nutrition for over 25 years. I graduated from Valparaiso University with a degree in nutrition and went on to Lewis University for a master's in education, and just have studied in various communities, lived overseas in Central America, practicing nutrition for malnourished children, and then brought knowledge back and serve Black and Brown communities here in the US, and really enjoy what I do. I'm also licensed to teach food safety classes and CPR and first aid. And I just enjoy cooking, nutrition, baking, and working with Dale and spreading positive and informational nutrition information. Nice meeting everyone.
Okay, and next we have Chef Karen Crawford Moore. We have two Karens.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Chef Karen, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Dale and I have collaborated back in the old days when we used to meet in person with classes for nutrition, and I'm glad that she's invited me into this space. So I've been in food service for over 20 years. I worked in corporate America in food service, and then I decided to study culinary arts, and am now a chef and owner of my own personal chef service.
Okay, and I just want to cover our disclaimer, waiver, and consent. The information that's being provided today is strictly for educational purposes only. It's not intended to replace or advise or give you advice of any medical advice. and it does not replace the advice of your medical doctor or healthcare professional with whom you consult. The instructors have explained or you have read a little bit about their training and their credentials. And once again, the nutrition instructions is intended for general information only. Regarding the recipes that we provided and the cooking demo, we know that people may be sensitive or have some common allergens, and we hope that you take your own personal responsibility to modify the recipes as needed for your own personal health. Recording. Our Zoom meetings are recorded. By participating in the Zoom, you're giving us permission to film, photograph, video, and audio record your being by you participating in the program. But you can turn your camera on or off at your discretion. For today, in our final session, we would like to take a group screenshot of all the participants. So at the end of the presentation, those who would like to take part in that, and we hope that everyone will, that you will turn on your video, and so we can take a screenshot of the group. Thank you. So today's topic again is cancer and nutrition. There is no one size fits all approach to nutrition and health. We're all unique with different bodies, goals, culture influence, backgrounds, and tastes. We can all agree that certain foods and culinary techniques and skills can help you and us to get the most nutrition and flavor out of our foods and help our bodies to fight any chronic conditions or dis-ease in our body. Okay, so session 3 is a dinner menu. We will be preparing grilled portobello mushrooms, Quinoa Pilaf, garlic parmesan roasted vegetables, and iced strawberry lemon zinger. I'm really anxious to make that one. Okay, so Karen?
All right. Thank you once again for joining. And today's health and nutrition objectives are going to be to learn a little bit about cancer prevention and nutrition. So the foods that will help to prevent cancer that are high in antioxidants, and how foods will fight cancer, and then what's healthful for you. So I do want to start out by saying antioxidants, they are literally compounds produced in our body, but they're also found in foods. And they help defend our cells from damage by harmful molecules known as free radicals. We hear a lot about free radicals. Well, the antioxidants will help, but the free radicals cause a lot of stress. And that stress can increase and then cause the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. So this is why foods high in antioxidants are really important to fight those free radicals. And then it's also important to reduce our stress levels. Also, as I'm reading these slides, you're going to see the term MMOL. This is just a level that is created to measure the level or the amount of antioxidants in a food. So what I wanted to talk about today are some of the top foods that are high in antioxidants, and we're going to discuss 10. But of all these 10, the highest in antioxidants is pomegranates. It's not on the list today, but it is pomegranates. So let's start with blueberries. All right, blueberries are a popular fruit that is widely consumed, and they are sold fresh in juices, frozen in jellies, pies, or in cereals as well. They're also dried. So blueberries contain vitamin C, manganese, vitamin K, anthocyanins, and other polyphenols. 100 grams of blueberries can contain up to 9.2, so this is the level antioxidants that it contains. There are also some studies that have suggested that blueberries have the highest levels of antioxidants among fruits and vegetables. Well, it's kind of neck and neck with pomegranates. Red cabbage is also known as purple cabbage, as its leaves are darker, than the regular green cabbage. And the color of the plant changes according to the pH value of the soil due to the presence of the anthocyanins. Compared to its green counterpart, so the green cabbage, red cabbage has twice as much iron and 10 times more vitamin A. It is also rich in vitamin K and vitamin C. So 100 grams of red cabbage contains 2.2 mmol of antioxidants. So you notice it's a little bit less than the blueberries, but it still has a significant level. So this can help to reduce inflammation, decrease the risk of some cancers, and protect against heart disease. I like to do cabbage raw, sometimes diced on top of a salad, which is very delicious, or you can roast it or stir fry it. Beans are high in fiber and also high in antioxidants. So like rice, beans can be considered a staple for some individuals. It is a group of the legumes that are healthy, high in fiber, and a great source of protein. And yes, they are inexpensive, which is great. They also have one of the highest antioxidant levels among fruits and vegetables. For example, 100 grams of green broad beans may have up to 2 mmol of antioxidants. Even pinto beans, red beans, black beans, kidney beans have high octane sources of antioxidants. Not only do beans have high levels of antioxidants, but they also have almost no cholesterol. So this is really good. Have very little fat and are mostly complex carbohydrates, which your body can use that source of fuel over a long period of time. It's also full of B vitamins. It's a great way to eat beans is to mix it in vegetable salads or as a main meal. And with beans and rice, that's another option, or you can have a bean soup. Raspberries. Raspberries are fruits of a plant of the rose family. It is an important commercial fruit crop and is widely cultivated in regions of the world in temperate climates. Raspberries are rich in vitamin C, manganese, and fiber. They also contain the phytochemicals such as ellagic acid, anthocyanin pigments, L-arginins, gallic acid, quercetin, cyanidins, catechins, pelargonidin, cyclic acid, and camphorel. And more than 100 grams of raspberries contains 4 levels of the antioxidants. They've also been known to reduce the risk of heart disease and slow or suppress the effects of some cancers. So those are very powerful berry. Strawberries is another powerful berry. Strawberries are also known for their texture and sweetness and widely consumed in large quantities. They are an excellent source of vitamin C, manganese, and other minerals and vitamins. So 100 grams of strawberries provide about 5.4 levels of antioxidants. They contain also the anthocyanins, which is the source of their red color. And then anthocyanins have also been known to reduce the risk of heart disease by increasing what is called the high density lipoprotein and decreasing the low density lipoprotein. So those are fats. So the HDL is the good protein or the good fat in your body, and you want more of that, and you want to decrease the LDL, which is the bad fats and associated with cholesterol and heart disease. They have also been associated with lower rates of inflammation, hypertension, and cancer. So, things like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries are awesome if you can put it in a fruit salad, slice it on top of a fresh raw salad, or you can make smoothies with those and then make those smoothies into popsicles for a delicious sweet treat for children. Any questions, comments, or remarks before we start cooking with Chef Karen?
Okay. So our next segment is Let's Cook with Chef Karen Crawford. So Chef Karen, okay, and this is our menu. And the theme behind everything that we do when you're looking for something different for breakfast, for dinner, for lunch, we can help with that through our Eat Well Cooking Club.
Thank you, Dale. So I'm starting with our beverage because I think a lot of us want to coordinate. You want to learn how to coordinate your meal so that everything comes together at the same time. So I'm actually starting with our beverage. This is our lemon Zinger Tea, and it's by Bigelow. It has probiotics in it. And so I boiled 2 cups of water in here, and I put in 2 tea bags. So that's had time to steep and to cool. Okay. So that's that. And we'll come back to that at the end. The next lengthiest process is the roasted vegetables. So, and it's basically like most of us have heard of the California blend, which is broccoli, cauliflower, and carrot. So this is a broccoli crown, and I'm just going to take off maybe 1 inch off the bottom here to make florets. and they basically fall into florets. So I'm going to put that in my bowl. Dale and I had a conversation about the vegetable. So we were intentional about choosing a vegetable that is vegetables that are known for fighting cancer, since that's the topic for today. And broccoli is definitely one of those. Then I have a half of a cauliflower, and it's kind of the same way. So what I like to do is go from the inside and just cut around that core. And that pretty much frees up all of those smaller sections. And of course, if you're so inclined, you could also purchase vegetables already chopped for you. But as you're seeing, it doesn't take that long. And these were on sale. I love when that happens. When I went to the store to get the cauliflower, they were $2.50. So very reasonable. So that's our broccoli and our cauliflower. And next, I want to demonstrate for you how to cut an onion. I know a lot of people, they have issues with or difficulty with cutting a red onion, or red onions in general, I'm sorry. So this is half of a red onion. And you always want to cut from stem to stem. And then you've created for yourself a flat surface. And I'm going to take off a little bit of this that I don't like. And then I'm going to make a dice, like a medium dice. So what I do is I make incisions upwards, perpendicular or aligned with the stems. Then I come down and I make cuts, my vertical cuts. And then I come across and then just come straight down. And there's your dice. Purple onions or red onions are a little milder in flavor. So if you're not a big onion fan, you might want to try red onion instead of yellow or white onions. Vidalia onions are also a little bit milder. They have a little bit of sweetness to them. And now I'm gonna chop, just do it. This is fresh parsley. And when you're buying fresh herbs, it's good to, whatever's left over, you can just wrap it in a damp paper towel and then put it in a Ziploc bag and it'll stay fresh longer. And I'm curious, how many of you, I'd like to hear from you in the chat, how many of you use fresh herbs when you're cooking at home? Because this is one of the big chef's secrets. And I think our health professionals will agree that fresh is better than dried.
Fresh is better than dried, but I don't always get a chance to use fresh.
Right.
Anybody else?
So this is another thing people have difficulty with garlic. I demonstrated this last week, but I'll demonstrate it again. And the recipe calls for 2 cloves, but this clove is so big, I'm just going to use the 1. So the way to get the peel off of the garlic is you take your knife and you just lay it on top and then just apply a little bit of pressure. Just bang a couple of times. And then the peel comes right off. You don't have to buy a $10 tool to do this. So, and I always take the little nub off. And that also kind of breaks the garlic up a little bit. And we can't say enough good things about garlic. I don't think I've ever heard one bad thing about garlic other than the smell or how it makes your breath afterwards. But health-wise and flavor-wise.
And garlic is in that group. Garlic, onions, scallions, shallots. They're in that group of vegetables that are called alum. Yes, and they are cancer-fighting foods that we should try if you have cancer, have had a diagnosis of cancer, because it's about preventing reoccurrence, or if you find that family members have had it, you may be at a higher risk of contracting it sometime in your life. But adding those to your most meals, you can do it fresh, you can do it in the powder forms, you can do it in the freeze dried forms, but definitely add those things to your diet and to the preparation of your food.
Thank you, Dale. So, so I've added salt, and I'm using today pink Himalayan sea salt. And I remember when it was first coming out and it was kind of hard to find, and now I think you can get it just about anywhere. You get all your other salts. So, and then this is, because we're doing plant-based, this is nutritional yeast, and it's kind of like a substitute for Parmesan cheese that we often use. And so I'm adding that. So, and I'm gonna get hands-on again, Dale. I'm just gonna get my hands in here and mix this up really well.
I was just looking at some of the conversation in the chat, and just a quick, I answered one already in the chat, but one asked about kiwi being high in antioxidants. And yes, the fruits and vegetables, they all have the antioxidants and in them. And so, but kiwi is actually known to have a high level of vitamin C. And as we know, vitamin C is a very good nutrient that helps to increase and support your immune system. And so, like cancer, sometimes it's thought of as a condition that was allowed to flourish in your body because the immune system wasn't effective, highly effective, and dissolving and killing off of the cancer cells. So at the onset, it's been noted in medical studies that we all have been exposed to cancer cells, and we will be sometime in our life, but it does not have to take root. That's the thing, the fertile ground. Our body and the state of our health is the fertile ground. And so, but as long as we fill in our bodies with these nutrient-rich foods and herbs and spices, it helps to ward off and keep cancer as well as other chronic disease in check.
Okay, thank you. So during that time. So I just tossed everything in a bowl and I spread it out pretty much in an even layer in a glass casserole dish. And then
Beautiful.
it goes in the oven. And through the magic of Zoom, we will have it. You'll see the finished product when I plate later. So that's my tease. So stay tuned for that.
There's a question in the chat that asks, does cooking fruits and vegetables decrease their effectiveness? I'd like for Karen Bryce and Karen, Chef Karen, to maybe chime in on that.
Sure, yes. So a lot of people have joked about when you're cooking your vegetables, you might as well drink what's in the pot. They call that pot liquor, you know, because now all the vitamins and minerals are in the oil or in the bottom of the pan, and it can decrease. So when you're adding heat, you're breaking down the actual essence and the vitamins and minerals in the fruit or the vegetable. So it can decrease. You don't want to overcook it to death so that you do maintain some of the vitamins and the minerals that are, you know, originally in the plant or the fruit.
I agree to everything the other Karen just said. I defer to you. So I've moved on to, I started my marinade for the mushrooms because that needs to sit for a little bit. So in here, this is just like a little shallow pie plate. I have salt and pepper and balsamic, and I like to give it a little whisk so that the salt can dissolve. And then another fresh herb that I'm using today is thyme. And I'll show you how it's really easy to get the leaves off. This is what I do. I just hold it from the top, pull straight down, and all the leaves come off. So you don't even need a knife to use the fresh thyme. You just pull and all the leaves come off, except for the very top. So, and I think it definitely adds more flavor than you know, the dried version. So I'm gonna whisk in just a little bit of olive oil.
I know earlier you asked about who uses fresh herbs. Last summer, I started a herb garden, and I started them from seeds. And it's a challenge for all of us. Just start with a couple of your favorite ones, you know, that you use, basil and thyme, and you know, just start with a couple of them. Just on
right, because if you start your own garden, it's really you know, it's there for you whenever you need. As long as you're not like me, who forgets about the garden. I just want to go out there and get what I want when I want. So these are Portobello mushrooms, and I consider this like the king of mushrooms. Not just because of size, but because of flavor. I think the flavor profile is very similar to a burger or a steak. So that's why I call this our steak dinner. And I cooked this dish for a vegan couple on Valentine's Day this year. So you want to just, the stem.
Can you raise it up a little bit, Karen? That's better, right?
So you just pop the stem off. It just snaps right off the middle. And then I'm going to add that to the marinade here. And we're just going to let that sit and get happy. And now we're going to move on to our Quinoa Pilaf. And this is really our protein source for today. The quinoa is huge for a plant-based diet. Wouldn't you agree, Dale?
Yes.
I agree
Yes.
too, definitely.
Like fresh garlic, almonds, chopped green onion, sun-dried tomato. Now these are, I'll say a word about the sun-dried tomato. It comes two ways. So this is what I'm using today. It's a dried, sun-dried tomato. I know that sounds redundant, but they also come packaged in a jar in olive oil, which would be probably with your tomatoes. These are usually in the produce aisle, but every store varies a little bit about where they store these. So, and this is what it looks like. This is the package. Bel San Luci, I think I've seen almost everywhere, this particular brand. And then this is what it actually looks like. And this is a little bit of a step saver because it's already julienne. So move over just a little bit to my burner here.
When you were talking about plant-based protein, there is a misconception that people do not get what they need from plants for their their sources of protein, and that is an understatement. The thing is that you can get all the protein that you need from plants. In fact, it's been, well, one of our defense is that some of the largest animal that walks the earth today, they are vegetarian, and their sources of foods are plants and vegetables and berries and nuts. And so, but there's just one vital nutrients that you do not get in a plant-based diet, and that's just vitamin B12. So when you're on a like a vegan or a plant-based diet, it is important to take certain supplements just to supplement, but protein is not one of the things that you're lacking.
Okay, thank you. So I've heated my oil in my pan, and I'm going to add my green onion. And I wish I had mine over here. You see that there. And these only take a minute to cook. Again, this is a mild onion, so you could use it also in salad or as a garnish on top of a dish that maybe you have the cooked version in. You could use a little more.
Karen, can you
yes.
adjust your camera so we can see downward? I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
It's on the screen. I guess it's okay. Maybe you'll show it to us afterwards. Okay, we have a little bit more of it.
A little better. Is that a little better
Yes.
view?
Okay. And while you're cooking, there was a question in the chat about washing fruits and vegetables with different things, such as vinegar, and it's asking for your recommendation.
I don't use anything other than water. Typically, I've used with greens, I've used like the baking soda, and that's about it. So that's, you could probably find, I'm sure there's some chefs out there that do that, but I do not.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I do use I use baking soda. If I'm out of baking soda, I may use a little distilled vinegar, but of course it's diluted, especially with cleaning greens. But my regular vegetables is just water. Most of the herbicides, pesticides, they're water soluble, and I know there's products that are on the market about cleaning. My mom is one of those, and like I asked her, do you know what those chemicals are that's, in the solution that's trying to clean your, your vegetables?
Right, might be doing more harm than good.
Right, and so.
Argument as well, yeah, what's in those chemicals that you're cleaning, the chemicals.
Right, right. And it's just, it's just the marketing. We got to get away from marketing. And it also asks about should we trust the labels on the packages when it says it's already been washed. I'll get your take on that, Chef Karen.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I was really excited to see that. Oh, I save a step. But, I think, I believe in, don't trust your own inspection. So if it says triple wash, but then you open it and you see a bug or you see residue, go ahead and rinse it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say use your own judgment there, but it doesn't hurt to wash it again. It doesn't hurt to wash it again. So in here, I've also added my garlic and sliced almonds, and I chose the almonds with the skin still on. So that's a little bit more fiber. And these are raw almonds. These aren't, these will be in your baking aisle. And now I'm going to add my sun-dried tomato. And then my quinoa. Now I found the interesting thing. This is the tricolored quinoa. So it's the light, which is the most common. And then there's the red, and then there's the black. So this has all three. But what I heard was that the lighter the color, the milder the flavor. So the pale one, the beigey colored one, the light one would be the mildest in flavor. And they recommend you start, if you haven't had it before, start with that one. If you like a bolder flavor, then try the red or the black. So I'm equal opportunity, so I picked the tricolor.
Guy asked a question about vegetables in the air fryer. What is your spin on that? And he's asking, can you put them in the air fryer?
I'm not probably the person to ask about an air fryer. I'm kind of an old school person. I'm trying to figure out how to get more stuff off of my countertop. So, but I'm pretty sure you can. You can do a number of things with the air fryer. I've heard rave reviews about all the things you can do. And there are people out there that specialize in recipes geared for your air fryer. And in fact, my this is actually a new stove, and it has the air fry feature on it. But I haven't roasted vegetables in the air fry feature. But it certainly gets things crisp. So you can do, like definitely French fries and onion rings for sure. And I'm sure you could do vegetables too, and it might give it, a little bit of a little more of a crispiness to it. So here I'm adding some vegetable stock. And then I'm going to bring this to a boil. Add.
I really like how you are cooking the quinoa right with the dish, you know, and I've seen some chefs actually cook their rice the same way. It's right with their dish. If it's some type of rice casserole, they cooked it right in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
To me, it's like, let's save a pot.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna, saute the onion and then throw in some other pan and then add it and then saute the, you know, something else and then add it. When you're your own dishwasher, that's one of those high-end chefs that have, you know, a team of 6 behind the scenes. But yeah, this is definitely a practical way to do that. So I'm just going to add a little pinch of the sea salt, and the broth has a little bit. Let's see. Wow, yeah.
Broth that you used?
I'm sorry, say again.
Was that vegetable broth that you used?
I am using vegetable broth. Yes, organic vegetable broth is what I'm using today. Okay, so while that's, I'm going to turn this down, cover it. And so basically, you cook it like rice. It's, you know, once the liquid is absorbed, it should be done. So I'm going to heat up my, now this is a grill plate. So I know in the recipe, I mentioned electric grill, and I also mentioned broiler if you don't have an electric grill. But this is probably a easier or less expensive investment to get a grill plate that goes right over your flame. And it's probably, you know, the average indoor grill is about $100. This is more like $40 or $50. You can get good grill plate from. This is Lodge. They're known for their cast iron cookware, and so that's what I have here. So I flipped my mushrooms over, and now I'm going to show you my casserole, my roasted vegetables. These are the roasted vegetables.
Okay.
So, and they did crisp up pretty well, I think. So you have that kind of crunchiness that we all like. So, and it's, as you can see, really easy to do. Just takes a little bit of time in the oven.
That looks good. Your mixture, there was a comment of the quinoa mixture. Someone made a comment that it looks beautiful.
Yeah, right. It's more eye appealing.
No, it looks delicious. I'm sorry, it looks delicious. I said beautiful.
I'll take both of those.
Okay.
I'll take both of those. So this is my very technical culinary training, a way of testing the heat on on my grill, and if I can hold my hand, I think for 3 seconds, then it's really not that hot yet. So I'm gonna give this another minute. And I'd wonder who in our audience today has an indoor grill or a plate flat stovetop grill, or either or none. I'm interested to know how many of you have those tools.
I used to have one, and I just I didn't realize the value of it, and now I regret giving it away.
Uh-oh.
I know, I know.
No, you gave it away.
I did. Shame on me.
One of those regifted gifts, because I received one as a gift. I wrote in the chat, I received one as a gift, but I never used it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
But
they're wonderful.
my husband was just talking about the other day, about an indoor grill. He was thinking about buying an indoor, but what about, I think I'm going to share that we have this in-house, to grill. Thank
Right.
you. Thank
Right.
you
And then
for,
some of the stoves now offer a grill plate. In fact, this is my grill plate that came with the stove, but it doesn't have the grill side. It's just a griddle. So it's good for making like flat, like a quesadillas or cheese sandwich or something like that. Pancakes, eggs. So each one has a slightly different application. So I'm going to go ahead and put these mushrooms on my grill. And I call this presentation side face down. So while that's cooking, I'm going to do a little work on my beverage. So here I just have some fresh strawberries that I've rinsed and patted dry. This is agave. This is the low glycemic agave by Madhava, Madhava. And it has 5 calories, but I'm more interested in the glycemic. And to you all's point, I know we're talking about the importance of reading your labels, and it's so true because this says carbs, 1 carb, but the serving size is 1 teaspoon. I don't think I'd be, well,
Yeah,
perhaps you could get away with 1 teaspoon, but I'm going to be using a tablespoon, so that would be 3. Who knows how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? Are there any bakers out there? I'm just curious.
I'll guess 4. 4.
You're close. It's 3.
Yeah, okay.
3. So if you are out of or missing, one or the other, you know that a teaspoon is 1/3 of a tablespoon. And so I'm dicing up a couple of strawberries here. And most people want to look for like the biggest, fattest strawberries they can find, but in actuality, the smaller it is, the more intense the flavor is. So I look for, unless I'm like dipping them, unless I'm dipping them in chocolate, I look for the smaller ones because they're more flavorful. It's kind of like a pepper, the same kind of thing. And then I'm gonna just slice one down the middle. That's gonna be my garnish. And then I'm gonna pour in some of this agave. which is lower in carbohydrates. It's not going to give you that fat, spike your blood sugar the way honey or maple syrup would.
Okay.
And I have this little, this is actually my, what I use for making my lattes, but I thought this would work pretty well. So I have a little 1/2 ounce ladle here. So I'm just going to do a little muddling. Those of you who are into cocktails know about muddling. So that basically infuses the flavor of the fruit or the herb into your syrup.
While you're doing that, there was a conversation going on about vegetable stock, and one comment, they noticed that the vegetable broth, store-bought, usually have higher sodium in it.
Yes.
Karen, Chef Karen or Karen, you want to address that?
Well, you can buy a low sodium version. Or another thing that I've done is, like Chef Karen had the roasted vegetables. If you roast them in a skillet with just a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of water, you make your own broth, and you can season and make your own vegetable broth. And then you
Right.
vegetables and the broth.
And
Absolutely.
another strategy as well is that when you're cooking, you usually have ends, maybe broccoli ends, the onions, or any little scraps from your vegetables. Just collect them over time, put them in a storage bag, have it in the freezer, and just add them and add them. And when you get a significant amount, that's the essence of your own vegetable broth that you can just put in a stock pot and add water and add some additional seasoning to it and cook it for 6 to 8 hours, even longer. And you have your own. And that way that you're controlling what's in your broth and what seasoning. Because I believe, I really haven't read the back of a package of vegetable broth because I haven't used it in a long time, but I don't know, Karen, are there some added chemicals to that?
Added
I
chemical.
don't know, but if it's just not vegetables and herbs and things that you can read, you're getting some chemicals added that's taking a ride along with the vegetable broth.
Okay, so back quickly over to our main course here, the portobello mushroom. I turned it a 1/4 turn, so I got these nice grill marks here, and now I'm just flipping it over. And then back over to quinoa. You see it's evaporated. All the liquid is evaporated. And just let that sit. And for a few minutes and let that flow. Okay, so now back over to my beverage. So I have my muddled strawberry and syrup. I'm adding my tea. I'm gonna let that swish around a little bit. Back over to our mushroom. Gonna turn and let that cook for another minute. So that's everything aside, and I will come back and plate for you all. But those are all of our dishes for our meal today.
Looks delicious.
If anybody has any questions, this would be a good time regarding cooking or any of the recipes.
Everything looks delicious. Everything looks great. I like the strawberry lemon zinger. I've never tried the low glycemic agave, just the regular agave. So I'd like to try the difference between the two.
Right, it is quite a bit of difference in terms of glycemic index.
Oh, okay. And the flavor, what do you?
Sorry about that.
Okay, hello. So you were speaking on the difference between the low glycemic and the regular.
Right, and I don't know, I don't remember. I want to say it could be as much as 3 times as much as the low glycemic, the standard agave.
Okay.
So pretty much the same as a teaspoon of sugar, I would say. Like around 15 grams.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So did everybody enjoy the recipes today? I love portobello mushrooms. They are just phenomenal.
Aren't they the best?
They are. They're so like the meatiness of it, the texture, the taste, the flavor. You can do so much with them. Yes, everything looks good. Thank you, Felicia Strong said everything looks great. And yeah, mushrooms, it's just so much you can do with them. The smaller mushrooms, you can make stuffed mushrooms, which is always fun to make as an appetizer. And
right. Right. And you don't have to use, crab or shrimp. You could use
breading.
I have a recipe where I use fennel, finely chopped fennel, sun-dried tomato, some fresh herbs, and a little shallot.
Nice.
And saute that together and put it inside the mushroom. So
sounds delicious.
You have to you can think outside the box. You don't have to do it the way, you've had it the one way. I think people kind of get caught in, well, I don't like this because I had it this one way. And so I'm never going to eat it again.
Correct. It's almost like eggplant, it depends on how it's cooked. It's not the best. It is a good vegetable, but you really have to, in my opinion, you must make it taste good or nobody's going to eat it. So mushrooms are kind of the same way, but I really enjoy them in a salad, raw or cooked or on pizza. And I like mushrooms in a curry where I make a chickpea curry and I add mushrooms to those. So those are wonderful as well. Can we see the plating, Chef, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I just have to get my glass. I have chilled. And I'm going to take you to my dining room. So this is my version of a plant-based steak dinner. Our grilled portobello mushroom, our quinoa pilaf with sun-dried tomato and almonds, and then the roasted vegetables with the garlic and nutritional yeast. And then our beverage, the lemon zinger tea with strawberry.
Nice. Okay. So we're going to move on. I know Dale got cut from the Zoom, but I wanted to move forward if possible and finish the rest of the PowerPoint presentation. So I believe we stopped at strawberries. So now let's go on to the next foods that are high in antioxidants. And the next one is kale. Kale is a type of plant with a purple or green leaf. It originated in Asia Minor and Eastern Mediterranean. Besides being cultivated as a food, it has been also used for medicinal purposes and especially to help treat bowel ailments, like for constipation and things like that, because it's so high in fiber. But it also contains carbohydrates, protein, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, folate, vitamin B6, manganese, riboflavin, thiamine, pantothenic acid, vitamin E, iron, potassium, calcium, and phosphorus. It's a very, very healthy vegetable. 100 grams of kale provides up to 2.7 levels of antioxidants. And there are different varieties of kale, which is red kale and Asian kale, or red boar, and they also have higher levels of antioxidants. Now we'll go on to artichokes. Believe it or not, artichokes are high in antioxidants. The artichoke is a type of edible plant which contains the bioactive agents lutein and apingen. The antioxidant capacity of artichoke flower heads has been reported to be one of the highest among the vegetables. It contains the antioxidant known as the chlorogenic acid, which may have the potential to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and heart disease. Okay, so that is the artichoke. And about 100 grams of artichoke contains about 4.7 levels of antioxidant. One food that most of us love that is also high in antioxidants is dark chocolate. So dark chocolate is a type of chocolate that is a higher percentage of cocoa butter and solids and very little dairy product when compared to the other types of chocolate. Dark chocolate is relatively low in sugar also and contains antioxidants. The identification of dark chocolate as a superfood has greatly increased the global demand for dark chocolate. And now 100 grams of dark chocolate contains 15 levels of antioxidants. The antioxidants of dark chocolate has also been associated with health benefits, such as reducing the risk of heart disease and decreasing inflammation. So enjoy your chocolate. One of that's high is pecans. But we want to be mindful when we're eating nuts, it should just be a handful of nuts because too many nuts, you have to look at it, it's a dry food. They can be constipating and they are high in fat. So you want to make sure that with nuts, you're eating the proper serving size and you only need about a handful. So pecans are also, they are from the native of the southern United States and Mexico. And the seeds have rich and buttery flavor and can be used for cooking or sweet desserts. 100 grams of pecans provides manganese, dietary fiber, magnesium, thiamine, zinc, phosphorus, iron, protein, and B vitamins. So 100 grams of pecans contains about 10.6 levels of antioxidants. And the last one that we have on the list today are the goji berries. Goji berries are also high in oxidant, and they are native to Asia and have been used in traditional Asian cuisine, traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, and Japanese medicines. They have also been marketed in the Western countries as a health food since they are rich in minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. 100 grams of the goji berry contains about 4.3 levels of antioxidants. Okay? So these are the foods that we listed that are high in antioxidants: beans, red cabbage, berries, pecans, artichoke, kale, and dark chocolate, and the goji berries. So we just want to thank everyone, thank our sponsor. Thank you for joining us for this segment of the steak and quinoa vegetables with a delicious drink. And as always, we want to make sure that we're fighting to prevent certain diseases that can come into our community, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and definitely to help try to prevent cancer from entering into our bodies. As Dale mentioned earlier, all of us have been exposed to probably some type of cancer. And that's why it's so important to make sure that we're eating a balanced diet full of antioxidants, full of vitamins and minerals, and then that we're also exercising and getting enough movement at least 3 to 4 days a week and taking care of ourselves.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So, but we really appreciate you. The journey will continue next month. You will get an invitation to join us. It's another series, so you do have to register for it, and you will get an invitation. And so our time is up, and we thank you for yours. Have a good evening.